Let's talk about the workflow, the things that we do to begin the process of starting System 7. And number one on the list is to set goals. And this is something that I learned a long time ago as a young man at age 14. I, for whatever reason, got my hands on this audio tape from Paul J. Meyer from the Success Motivation Institute in Waco, Texas. I can still remember that. And I listened to that thing, 5, 6, 7 times. And to me, it was like magic. I thought, really? You can actually just think of what you want, you can write it down on paper, you can read it every day, and it actually will come to pass, it'll actually happen. Well, people have known this since the beginning of time. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve, right? And that's the amazing piece that we as human beings have that no other form of animal life possesses. That's our ability to create the future in our minds before it exists in reality. No other form of life can do that. That is so incredible. And the saddest part of this whole world is most people squander that. They never do that. They never sit there and actually create their future and give some thought to it and think about it and try to conceive of something different in their life, It's kind of like the story they have in their head about themselves, right? Got to change their story. And a lot of people have a hard time seeing that. Well, this is the time to do that. When we say set goals, what we're talking about is it's time to change your story about yourself and about what you think is possible for you. And literally, I'm here to tell you, if no one else has ever told you this in your life, you can do anything. You can do anything that you decide you want to do. And if you decide it and you write it down and you believe it, it will happen. I remember years ago when we would say, we'll be $1 billion company. Nu Skin will be $1 billion company someday. And people would just whiff us, man. It was right, not a chance, And here we are today at 3 billion plus as a company. How does that happen? Did I totally believe that was going to happen when I would say those things? I can't say that it was 100%, but I was probably 90% or 85%. We're going to be $1 billion company someday. Yeah, things could happen. Something big, catastrophic could happen. But generally speaking, that's our objective and that's our goal. And when we write it down and we start to read it every day, then it starts to become reality in our minds first. And then we take actions that make that come to pass in actual fact. And so it doesn't matter that we didn't know how we were going to become a $1 billion company. We didn't know where to go, the countries it would take, the people it would take. A lot of those people were not even in the business. Most of them were not in the business when we stated the goal. But they're there today because we stated the goal. If we would have never stated the goal, they probably would never be there today. Now we have a new goal. We're going to be a $10 billion company. Truman Hunt, the CEO of the company, has made that new goal to happen by 2020, all right? We don't know how we're going to do that for sure. We don't know all the people it's going to take or the product lines that we'll show. We don't know, but we know we're going to do it. So then it comes back to you. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What's the new story, the new script for you, for your life, what you want to accomplish in your life? Let's figure that out, because this vehicle that we call Nu Skin has the ability to make it happen. And that is what is so powerful about what we offer people. We offer them a vehicle that doesn't exist anyplace else, where an individual can take their gumption, their drive, their sweat equity, their ingenuity, their doggedness that they're not going to give up, and they're locked onto this thing, and they've written that down, and they're going to see it through, and they're going to finish it. They're going to make it happen. Reality is nothing more than what you believe that to be in your mind. It's what you perceive it to be today. And so if you want to create a new reality for yourself, the way you do that is you write down your goals. And for me, I write them down in 5 areas, okay? I write them down in spiritual and family. I write them down in mental and emotional. I write them down in physical and health. I write them down in financial and security. And I write them down in social and friends. And I'm trying to say in these areas of my life, what do I want my life to be like? How do I want it to turn out at the end, right? And so I have written down, I am like this. This has happened at this date. And I've written it down as if it is done. It is accomplished, all right? And then what I do is I read those goals. I take them and break them down into a 5-year goal and a 1-year goal and a monthly goal and a weekly goal and a daily goal. And I know if I can do stuff every day and string 5 days together, I got a decent week. And if I can string 4 weeks together, I got a decent month. And if I can string 12 months together, I got a great year, and so on and so forth. But I think it's important to decide kind of the end game. Get it out there a little ways. It may not be out there for your whole life, like I've done. I've actually written life goals, like for when I'm 90 years of age, right? So just take whatever chunk of time that you can get your head around and then start to break it down to today, and then make those goals, and you're going to modify them as you go along. You know, you're not going to have everything work exactly the way you think. So I can't overemphasize how critical it is that you write them down. And people think their goals, say, oh, I want to do this. But that's not good enough, because as human beings, we're really good at forgetting. We forget why we made commitments or why we did things, and it's really good to write them down, because then you can remember when the days go by. Not every day is going to be a sunny day. Some days are going to be gray. Some are going to be icy and snowy, you know, and it's not always going to be roses. And in those days that are hard, it's nice to go back and read and remember why you made that commitment, why you said you were going to do that. Some of us need to go back and, you know, on those days, read about our marriage. Why did we do this? You know, why did we love this person? Why did we make these commitments, right? So write down these goals and read them every day, because it all starts with our thoughts, right? And if we read positive things, we suggest to our mind the new reality that we're going to create in our lives. And those thoughts, when we think them enough, lead to words. And the words spoken enough lead to actions. We actually act them out. And actions repeated consistently become habits. And habits are the best of masters or the worst of servants, right? It's just the way it is. We've got to pick good habits, make good habits. How do we do it? Thoughts, words, actions, habits. Habits create our character, and our character fixes our destiny.